Hello, my dear friends. I want to share with you something truly powerful, something that has been a guiding truth in my life for many years. You have the power to heal yourself. It may sound surprising to some, but deep within you lies the incredible ability to create healing in your life, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. The power to transform your circumstances and restore balance is already within you. I know this because I've seen it, I've lived it, and I've witnessed it in countless others. When I speak of healing, I don't mean simply eliminating symptoms of illness or curing diseases. Healing is so much more than that. Healing is about recognizing and releasing the emotional and mental patterns that create the dis-ease in our bodies and in our lives. It's about learning to love and accept yourself, to shift your thoughts, to reframe your perceptions, and to forgive both yourself and others. Healing, true healing, comes when we are willing to look within, to acknowledge the truths that lie buried in the corners of our hearts, and to give ourselves permission to change. Now, I understand that many of you may be skeptical. You might be wondering, how can I heal myself? What does that even mean? Trust me, I get it. I've walked through some very difficult and painful times myself. But let me tell you, every moment of struggle I experienced was an opportunity to go deeper into myself, to look at what was truly going on in my life, and to change the things that weren't serving me. I want to help you discover this same truth, that you are not a passive participant in your life, you are the creator, and you have everything you need within you to create the health, the happiness, and the life you've always desired. So let's start with the most important thing I want you to understand. Your thoughts create your reality. Every single thought you have is a seed you plant in your mind, and from that seed, a belief grows. Your beliefs determine how you feel, how you act, and how you experience life. You might not even be fully aware of the thoughts you think, but they're there, shaping your world. This is why it's so important to become conscious of your thoughts. They are the foundation of everything that happens to you. You see, healing doesn't happen by simply focusing on the symptoms or trying to fix the problems in your life. Healing begins by recognizing the root cause of those issues, and often, the root cause is a belief. If you believe you're not good enough, if you believe you're unworthy, if you believe you're incapable of change or improvement, that belief will manifest in your body, in your relationships, and in your circumstances. You will attract situations and people that reinforce these beliefs, and your body will respond in kind. But here's the good news. You can change your beliefs. And when you change your beliefs, you change your life. It's not as hard as it sounds, but it does require effort, dedication, and above all, patience. Be kind to yourself in this process. Healing is not a race, it's a journey. You don't need to rush it, and you don't need to get it perfect. All you need to do is commit to changing the thoughts that no longer serve you, and to embracing new beliefs that will support your well-being. One of the most transformative things I've learned on my own healing journey is the power of affirmations. Affirmations are simple, positive statements that you repeat to yourself over and over again until they become part of your belief system. They may seem simple, but don't underestimate their power. When you repeat a positive affirmation, especially one that challenges an old negative belief, you begin to shift the very foundation of your thinking. This is how healing begins. You start by changing your thoughts, and then your emotions, your behaviors, and your circumstances begin to shift as well. When I was facing my own health challenges, I used affirmations to help me release old fears and anxieties, to encourage my body to heal, and to remind myself that I was worthy of good health. I would stand in front of the mirror and say to myself, I am healthy, I am whole, I am at peace. In the beginning, it didn't feel real, but slowly, over time, I began to believe it. And as my beliefs shifted, so did my health. I want you to try this for yourself. Stand in front of the mirror and look into your own eyes. No matter how difficult it feels at first, say these words to yourself. I love you. You are worthy of love and health. You are deserving of all the good that life has to offer. Let those words sink in and repeat them every day. You might be surprised at how quickly they start to take root in your heart and mind. I know. Sometimes it feels like you're too broken or too far gone to heal. But I want to tell you, no one is beyond healing. The past does not define you. Your past does not have the power to dictate your future unless you allow it to. Healing is not about erasing your history. It's about transforming your relationship with your history. It's about choosing to release the old stories that keep you stuck in pain, and to create new, empowering stories that align with the life you want to live. You are not defined by the wounds you carry, but by the strength and courage it takes to heal those wounds. Another key to healing is forgiveness. It may be one of the most difficult steps for many of us, but it is also one of the most powerful. Forgiveness is not about excusing or condoning the hurtful actions of others. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of resentment and anger that holds you back. Forgiveness is for you, not for the other person. When you forgive, you release the emotional weight that keeps you tied to the past. You allow yourself to move forward and create space for healing. Remember, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. You may be wondering, but what if I can't forgive? What if the hurt is too deep? I understand. It can feel impossible at times. But let me reassure you, forgiveness is not something you have to force or do all at once. It's a process. It's about being willing to let go, bit by bit. If you can't forgive all at once, start with small steps. Start by simply acknowledging the pain and the hurt without judgment. Give yourself permission to feel your feelings, and then, with time, choose to release them. With each step, you will find that the burden gets lighter and the healing gets deeper. I know this process can be difficult, but I promise you, it's worth it. The transformation that happens when you embrace self-love, shift your thoughts, and forgive is truly miraculous. It's a process, yes, but it's one that brings incredible freedom and peace. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start where you are and trust that every step you take brings you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Remember, you are worthy of healing. You are deserving of love, health, and happiness. It's already within you, and I am here to remind you of that. Healing is not about waiting for something outside of you to change. It's about changing the way you see yourself and the world. It's about reclaiming your personal power, your self-worth, and your ability to heal. You have everything you need to create a life of health, joy, and abundance. Trust in the power within you and know that healing is your birthright. So I invite you to begin this journey with me. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and commit to this one truth. I am capable of healing. I trust in the power within me. Keep this affirmation close to your heart and let it guide you toward a brighter, healthier, and more loving future. You are not alone in this process. We are all walking this path together, and together we will heal. I want to share something with you that is deeply important on your healing journey. You are not broken. This is something that many of us forget. We live in a world that tells us we're supposed to be perfect, that we should always have it all together. But that's not the truth, is it? The truth is, we're all human. We're all imperfect, and that's where our power lies. We are beautifully imperfect, and in that imperfection, we find the lessons we need to grow and heal. The first step in healing is recognizing that no matter what you've been through, no matter the mistakes you've made or the pain you've endured, you are not broken. Yes, you may have experienced hardship. Maybe you've carried pain or disappointment for a long time, but that doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond to those challenges. It's about how you choose to see yourself in the midst of those difficulties. You see, when we go through tough times, whether it's illness, loss, or emotional trauma, it's easy to think that something is wrong with us. We can feel like we're somehow less than or undeserving of love and happiness. But I want you to know this: your struggles are not a reflection of your worth. They are simply part of your journey. They are opportunities for you to learn, to grow, and ultimately to heal. It's through the challenges that we uncover parts of ourselves we never knew existed. Now let's talk about those emotional blocks that can prevent healing. Often it's not the physical condition itself that holds us back. It's the emotions and beliefs we've built up around it. Maybe you've been taught to believe that you're not good enough or that you don't deserve to be healthy. Maybe there are feelings of guilt or shame that you've been carrying for years. All of these emotions and beliefs create a block, a wall between you and the healing you seek. The good news is that these blocks are not permanent. They are created by old stories you've been telling yourself, and you have the power to rewrite those stories. Healing happens when we begin to release the beliefs and patterns that no longer serve us. It's about replacing those old stories with new ones, stories of love, of acceptance, and of possibility. When you start to believe that you are worthy of good health, that you are deserving of love, and that you can heal, you will begin to see changes in your life. One of the most powerful ways to start shifting these emotional blocks is by practicing self-love. I know it may sound cliché, but self-love is at the heart of everything. If you can't love yourself, how can you expect others to love you? How can you expect your body to feel at ease when your mind is constantly berating you? Healing begins with loving and accepting yourself exactly as you are, with all your imperfections, fears, and doubts. You are enough, just as you are. Take a moment right now and look at yourself. Really look at yourself in the mirror. I want you to see beyond the surface. See beyond your body, beyond your past, beyond your mistakes. Look into your eyes and tell yourself, I love you. You are worthy of healing. You are enough. Feel those words in your heart. This is the foundation of healing. When you practice self-love in this way, you begin to break down those emotional blocks and open yourself up to true transformation. Remember, healing is not a destination. It's a process. It's about taking small steps every day to nurture yourself, to love yourself, and to choose thoughts that support your well-being. And I promise you, as you begin to believe in your own worth, the walls will begin to come down. You will start to experience the peace, the health, and the love that you've always deserved. Let's continue on this beautiful journey together, my dear friend. I've been sharing with you how important it is to understand that you are not broken and that healing begins from within, but now let's dive even deeper. In this part, I want to talk about the power of your mind, how it shapes your reality, and how shifting your mindset can be one of the most profound steps in your healing process. I know, for many of us, the idea that our thoughts create our reality can be hard to accept, but believe me, it is the truth. The mind is an incredibly powerful tool, and it shapes how we experience everything in our lives, from our physical health to our relationships, our finances, and even our spiritual well-being. The way you think about yourself, about your body, and about the world around you has a direct impact on how you experience it. If you're carrying around beliefs that you're not good enough or that you're destined to suffer, your body will reflect that in the form of disease, stress, or emotional pain. On the other hand, when you shift your thoughts to beliefs of love, peace, and possibility, your body can begin to respond in kind. Now, I know it's not always easy to change your thoughts. Many of us have spent years, even decades, believing certain things about ourselves, things like, I'm not worthy of love, I'm always going to be sick, or I'll never be able to change. These negative beliefs become so ingrained in us that they feel like part of who we are. But let me tell you something. They are not who you are. They are just stories you've been telling yourself. And you have the power to change those stories. You have the ability to rewrite your narrative, to choose new beliefs that serve your highest good. The first step in shifting your mindset is becoming aware of the thoughts that are running in the background of your mind. So often we're not even conscious of how much we criticize ourselves or how many negative beliefs we're carrying around. But every thought we think is powerful. It sends a signal to our bodies, to our hearts, and to the universe. So it's important to pay attention to the language you're using with yourself. If you catch yourself thinking something negative, don't judge it. Just acknowledge it, and then consciously choose to replace it with something more loving and affirming. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've been dealing with chronic pain, and you find yourself thinking, I will never be free of this pain. It's always going to be with me. That thought, while understandable, is not helping you. It's keeping you stuck in a cycle of fear and helplessness. Instead, you could reframe that thought into something like, I am taking steps toward healing, and every day my body is becoming stronger and more at ease. It may not feel true at first, but with time and repetition, this new belief can start to take root, and your body will respond. The more you reinforce this belief, the more you begin to align with it, and the more likely you are to experience the results that match it. Affirmations are an excellent tool for helping you shift your mindset. Repeating positive affirmations each day can help you replace old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. I remember when I first started using affirmations to heal myself, I was skeptical too, but I stuck with them. I would stand in front of the mirror and say things like, I am worthy of love and health. I am powerful. I choose to release all fear and negativity. At first, I didn't always believe them, but I kept saying them, and over time, I noticed changes, both in my thoughts and in my body. It's amazing how powerful your words can be. They're like seeds that you plant in your mind, and just like a garden, if you tend to those seeds with love and care, they'll eventually bloom. Another important step in shifting your mindset is learning to let go of the past. So many of us are held back by old stories, old wounds, and old regrets. These emotional burdens weigh us down and prevent us from moving forward. The truth is, the past is gone. It no longer has any power over you unless you allow it to. I know that may sound easier said than done, but I want to remind you of something. You have the power to release the past. You can choose to let go of the guilt, the shame, the anger, or whatever else is holding you back. When you choose to forgive, not just others, but yourself, you free yourself from the chains of the past, and you allow room for healing to occur. When I went through my own personal healing journey, I had to do this work myself. I had to look at all the pain I'd been holding on to, the memories of things that happened to me, the stories I'd been telling myself about who I was, and I had to let go. I had to forgive myself for the mistakes I'd made and release the negative emotions that I'd carried for so long. It wasn't easy, but I knew I couldn't move forward without it. And I can tell you that once I made the decision to release those old stories, it was as if a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. My mind became clearer, my heart lighter, and my body responded by healing in ways I never thought possible. It's important to understand that healing doesn't mean erasing the past. It doesn't mean forgetting the challenges or the pain you've been through. It simply means no longer allowing those experiences to define who you are today. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are a beautiful, powerful being with the ability to heal, to grow, and to create a new reality for yourself. And that reality starts with your thoughts. Another essential part of shifting your mindset is focusing on gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful healing force. When you choose to focus on what is good in your life, whether it's the love of a friend, the beauty of nature, or simply the fact that you are breathing, you begin to shift your energy. Gratitude opens your heart and invites more of the good stuff into your life. It's difficult to be in a state of fear, anger, or illness when you are actively practicing gratitude. The more you focus on what you're thankful for, the more your mind begins to see opportunities for healing, joy, and growth. One way to practice gratitude is by keeping a daily gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big things. In fact, the smaller moments can often be the most meaningful. Perhaps you're grateful for a kind word from a stranger, for a cup of tea that warmed you, or for a moment of quiet. When you focus on gratitude, you begin to train your mind to see the positive, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. And finally, my dear friend, remember this. Healing is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, but with each shift in your thoughts, each new belief you choose, and each moment you practice self-love and forgiveness, you are moving closer to the person you are meant to be. You are already whole. You are already worthy. And by changing your mindset, you are aligning with the truth of who you really are. The more you embrace this truth, the more healing will come. As we come to the final part of this healing journey together, I want to remind you of something incredibly important. Healing is not a destination, but a way of being. It's not something you achieve and then forget about. It's a process that continues to unfold every single day of your life. And this is a beautiful thing, because it means that you have the power to create a life of peace, health, and joy every single day. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment to start healing. Healing begins now, in this moment, and every choice you make, every thought you think, every word you speak, and every action you take is a step towards a deeper, more loving connection with yourself. One of the most powerful realizations on this journey is understanding that you are the creator of your life. So often, we believe that life happens to us, that we are victims of circumstances, or that healing is something that must come from the outside. But true healing, my friend, always begins from within. It starts with the way you think about yourself, your beliefs about your worth, and the way you show up in the world. And this is why I want to encourage you to take responsibility for your own healing. When you take responsibility, you reclaim your power. You stop looking for someone or something outside of you to fix you, and you start to realize that you already have everything you need within you to heal. This doesn't mean that you don't ask for help or seek guidance when you need it. Healing is not about doing everything alone. It's about surrounding yourself with support, whether it's through loving friends, family, or professionals who help guide you along the way. But you must always remember that you are the one who holds the key to your own transformation. You are the one who must choose to change, to heal, and to embrace a new way of being. There's one more thing I want to touch on that's essential to the healing process. Trust. Trust is an incredible force. It's trust in yourself, trust in your body, and trust in the process. Sometimes when you're in pain, whether physical, emotional, or mental, it's easy to feel discouraged. You might start to wonder if healing is even possible, but healing is a journey, and it doesn't always look linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of doubt, and moments of profound insight. But in each moment, you must trust that the process is working. Trust that you are being guided, even when you don't understand the path ahead. Trust that everything you need for healing is already unfolding in your life, step by step. I've had moments in my own journey where I wondered if healing was even possible. But I kept choosing to trust. I kept choosing to show up for myself, even when it felt difficult. And over time, I began to see that healing doesn't always happen in the way we expect. Sometimes it's not a dramatic, instantaneous change. Sometimes it's a subtle shift, a small moment of peace that grows over time. And sometimes healing comes in the form of simply accepting where you are, rather than fighting against it. There is also great healing power in presence. Being fully present in the moment allows you to release the fear of the past and the anxiety about the future. When you can focus on the now, you create space for healing to happen naturally. Try practicing mindfulness or meditation. These tools can help you become more present with yourself and your body. In those quiet moments, you can connect with your true self, the one who is already whole and already healed. And remember, healing doesn't mean that you'll never experience challenges again. Life is full of ups and downs, but the difference is when you are aligned with your inner truth, you approach challenges with a sense of peace and trust. You know that even in the face of difficulties, you have the tools to navigate them with grace, and you know that you don't have to face anything alone. You are supported, loved, and capable of moving through anything that comes your way. I want you to know that you are enough, just as you are. You don't need to change who you are to be worthy of love, health, or happiness. Healing is about remembering who you truly are, an amazing, powerful, and worthy being. You've always had the ability to heal yourself, and now I invite you to trust in that power. Trust in the journey, trust in your body, trust in yourself. I'm here to tell you, from the depths of my heart, that healing is possible. You can create a life filled with love, peace, and health. You already have everything you need within you. Now, it's time to take the next step. It's time to believe in yourself, to trust the process, and to know that every thought, every affirmation, every act of self-love is leading you toward the healing that is already yours. So, let go of any fear, any doubt, any old story that tells you you're not worthy. You are more than enough. You are a beautiful, powerful being capable of creating profound change in your life. Take a deep breath and commit to this journey of healing, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to the truth of who you really are. You are already healed. You just have to remember, trust in yourself. The power is within you. With love, always.